Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to be going over um, basically a kind of a beginning guide kind of list of what would be the um, best characters if you were to just start playing Smash to learn the game, and if you were also to try and get into competitive, what would be the best way to go about learning the game. This video could be kind of extensive and long, so just keep that in mind. But I'm going to try and keep this basic. Um, and I could also do a part 2, just let me know in the comments, and I'll put a list of the characters to talk about here. I'm going to do this in kind of two portions. Um, if you don't have the DLC, and if you do have the DLC. Alright, so, excuse me, the first thing I want to go over here is what the completed screen looks like as of patch 11.0.1. Season Pass 2 is out, or um, what they call their Character Pass 2 is out. And it's not fully completed yet. This is the middle of 2021 in the summer. So the last character they revealed and put out was Pyra Nithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, just so you see that here. Alright, so excuse me. The list I have here, I'm basically gonna kind of do 5 characters here for this first part. Mario. Very straightforward. You can kind of think about that right away. First, you hop in the game. You start going in. You have 64 characters, as we start out with. When I say 64 characters, what people are talking about, um, the first characters you start out in the game are the first characters you would have started with in Super Smash Bros. 64 when you first started the game or going around to unlock characters. So it would be Pikachu, Fox, Kirby, Yoshi, Samus, Link, Donkey Kong, and Mario. And there are many ways to go and play through different game modes and unlock them. And I'll go through a game mode that's very easy, very fun to unlock it, and what other game modes are available to play it. If you want to just jump and do multiplayer, if you want to story mode, whatever you feel like doing. And I'll cover which one is best for if you want to try and do competitive and unlock it the quickest. Because there used to be kind of glitches, to kind of help with that, but I don't think they work anymore. They've been patched out, but it's still, you can get it done pretty quick. And just know, as you unlock more characters, they start from like being like a level 3 CPU, and then will eventually go to up to like a level 9, which is like max difficulty. They call it strong. Right, so, and it goes all the way down to, in fact, it might even start at level 1, because it tries to get you kind of used to the game and understands you might be new. Alright, so let's go with the list here. So again, it was Mario. It's the first one here. And Mario, kind of just give a basic overview, does a little bit of everything, and it does a little bit of everything better than average. So he's good for kind of starting out in general, especially with your choices here with Samus, Link, Donkey Kong, Mario, Yoshi, of course. We have Kirby, we have Fox, we have Pikachu. And then I'm going to go over the next character, which is also good for learning, and this is in the sense of sword type characters. Eventually, you'll get to unlocking characters, and you'll unlock Marth and what they call an Echo Fighter, Lucina, which is similar to Marth, but in the sense Lucina doesn't have parts on her attacks where she hits someone with her sword where you need to worry about getting critical hits or anything. Her sword is strong on all parts of where she hits of her sword. So in other words, you can hit someone with like a jab or forward smash, and it'll always be a really strong hit and deal a lot of damage. And she's also good for practice with starting out because you could just uh, not have to worry about doing too much spacing or trying to direct moves too much, and you'll always be able to get a good, nice, feeling clean hit. Whereas time Martha, you have to worry about that to get what they call the tipper effect to get a critical hit move. Where Lucina, you don't have to worry about that, so just Lucina, I've seen other players suggest that good for practicing sword characters. And again, as long as you go along locking characters here, you'll get to a heavy character like Bowser. And Bowser, I think, is good for practicing heavyweights because he's kind of like a heavyweight version of Mario. He just with everything he can do a little bit of everything. He also has armored stuff on him, so he can kind of do that stuff. Because of the fact it's heavy, he won't get punished as much. He won't get beat up too much, I guess is a better word for it. So that's another one we have listed here, and I can go to details with other things later. If you guys request with like a part 2 or something. Another character, when you eventually unlock them, I want to say to practice with, I'm doing this order a little different here, Pichu. And I say that because Pichu is really strong, deals good heavy damage and attacks, right? But the main difference with Pichu and Pikachu is Pichu, because Pichu is so strong, actually deals damage to him or herself. You'll see here there's like female Pichus. Yeah, see, like there's one. Maybe this is one? No. It's hard for me to tell. I'm not sure. But my point is, it gives you training on managing when to attack and other things, to not spam other stuff, and reward you for doing certain combos and setups and other things. And you can also always go into training mode or other stuff too, but Pichu's kind of one of those characters that can help teach you and reward you and other stuff for getting good confirms or combos or just surviving in general. And that's kind of why Pichu is kind of good for training, in my opinion. People don't normally talk about, especially if you want to be a combo kind of character. And that's also, I'm going to go to Lucario. Lucario is very good for teaching a player how to survive and motivating them to want to survive longer. Not necessarily in the sense of camping, but trying to find ways to survive. Practice your teching, practice all these other advanced movements options, which I'm not going to go into because it's for later. This is the guide for beginners, so what even character selection to make. And those are basically real quick the characters. I would say if you don't have the DLC. Now, if you do have the DLC, this changes because there's actually some characters that kind of do a better job in regards to DLC for certain other things. And you can still include some from the first part of the list too if you really want to. So this is if you have DLC. We have Mario, because again, all around standard kind of fighter. Lucina, great with swords. And then we have, again, Bowser, probably just so far our best example of the heavyweight that's just around does everything, so you get a lot of practice for all kinds of different things. This next one I mentioned, because eventually you can get the DLC or you have it. You could still kind of include a couple others here, and I'll mention them. Terry, because he gives you good practice for not just surviving tech and everything, but um, for fighters like Ryu can, and he's just a better version of them. Like he actually works, and he has that go mechanic, which is when you reach 100% for surviving, you could use a couple other moves that aren't normally available until you have that mechanic, and they're really good, and you can combo into them. So again, he's one of those characters that rewards you, teaches you some things, and it's good, like Lucario for how to survive. So again, you could also learn Lucario, but Terry is good as well for this kind of reason. And it might sound like a strange pick, but it's not. Min because Min's very good for teaching beginners the idea and how to two-frame opponents, which is a very important technique if you're going to try and be competitive at all, or win matches in general. Ultimate's very important for, and winning matches in general, you have to be able to two-frame an opponent, because sometimes you're not always going to be able to beat an opponent off stage with some characters. So Min's very important for that. And again, if you still want to practice with like Pichu, Lucario, or something, or some other character, that's fine. And that's why I'm going to go over some other characters for certain types here. And the other category I have here for beginning, and this is assuming, of course, you have unlocked all the characters by this point too. I'm just trying to mention these characters here. But basically, I'm going to go over strategy after all this of unlocking the characters, what would be best, and what to do. But this is what I call the grapple section for those who get beginning-wise the best you can do for setting up into being a kind of grapple punisher or combo character kind of player. I'm trying to explain this way that makes sense to people just starting out. I put Luigi as the first example, because whenever if you look up Luigi videos, see how they play, like top players like Elegant, for example, you'll see that's one that's mentioned a lot. Everything he does, it's everything he tries to set up into, normally in Smash Ultimate, is into his grapple or his grab, which he shoots his plunger out from his vacuum cleaner, and it's really kind of funny looking. But when he does get that, he can go and grab his opponent from 0% and get them all the way up to like around 80 or 100% sometimes, and he's going to finish him off from that. And that's what we call a grab character. It could do heavy damage from a grab. And sub characters could do similar things I've listed here to kind of get practice with, not just Luigi. For similar things is Kirby. Donkey Kong can do a lot of things similar with setups. Palutena still kind of can, but I mentioned just because she's been known for that. She presents kill throws. Ness, of course, is also somewhat known for that with down throw and things. I'm going to put in some other mentions here, or at least one other. I think here. I want to try and actually show them off. Banjo-Kazooie kind of has one with his down throw. You can actually go to like neutral air, up air to do a little bit, but it's not. And Steve, I guess, maybe a little bit, but it's not the same kind of level as the five that I had mentioned, which would be again be Luigi, Kirby, Donkey Kong, Palutena, and Ness, and maybe even Lucas, but again, it's not the same kind of level. Excuse me, and I could have maybe mentioned some others who would, like Mario or something, but there's a reason I mentioned those five, and that's because we're looking at learning and beginning level stuff. And now I'm going to go into what we consider combo characters, and these are ones for learning. So some really, I was going to say obvious, but some really simple examples or beginning level examples to pick, because this category is a little harder. This is combo stuff. Um, I I put at the top of my list here Ryu, but if you're still really trying to learn to not be too discouraged, I would look at being like Terry, Falco, Bayonetta, and then looking at Great Edge Ryu. And I don't suggest Sheik often in my list or anything for anything because unfortunately Sheik needs a buff. She doesn't deal enough damage with some of her moves to really even place her in the mid tier or barely even put her in low tier. I mean, she has potential, but you work too hard to make results happen. It's like trying to play football with no gear on. I have to make that comparison because you're really just trying to hurt yourself is all you're trying to do. Because I think if you have like a basic foundation for these fighting combo characters, you can probably do really good with Sheik and Mithra maybe. And I don't get to the list what you'll be able to do down here at the bottom. I have made a kind of list that goes into like high and top tiers. Let's see here. And the next list I made is setup characters, or they trap, or they use things to like bait and punish, and they can combo a little bit out of it too. So they're heavy punish kind of characters. They're good to kind of like learn if you want to get to that level. If you feel you've gotten to a mid level kind of deal. Pac-Man, Steve. I'm talking, Steve, Minecraft Steve. Pac-Man. I mean, I didn't point it because I was hoping, but I will. Link. This Link is what I'm talking about. Um, and yeah, if this is a good one because then you get the kind of to learn remote bombs, other things, be really creative. People might want something a little faster and do Young Link, and that's fine. Some people kind of want the one thing Toon Link has that I think is cool and I kind of like. He has a really strong up special that's multi-hitting, and at the end has a really strong finishing hit with the up special. His I forgot what it's called for some reason. But it's when he does his spinning sword attack, and it's really good actually. It's like Young Link's, but it's got a really strong finishing hit. You can kill someone. Most characters actually at like 150%. They'll probably be finished off, so that's good. And you could build damage pretty quickly with Toon Link too. And his down air, um, it does knock people straight down, but it can also send him straight down. So it's something sometimes some people might do as a tactic. They'll grab a bomb and do a down air just to try and attempt to save themselves. So it's interesting. There's all kinds of things you do to create with those characters. But again, I suggest Adult Link for practice. Get used to the game, basics and other things. And he's a cool character. I mean, they all have really cool costumes. Um, and then of course, Snake. You can start doing, basic stuff when you're mid level, and then work your way all the way up to like, what do you use? Big a top tier level. So it's important. And then also I did Banjo-Kazooie because it's a few things. You need to learn not just spacing, but when they get it on your opponent, how to manage your resources as far as your side special, when you should use it for managing for recovery, offensive, all these different things. He's a little bit of a resource character as well as a bait and punish character, and you can set up actually with him too. He's not truly campy like people think he is, but he can be if you play him that way. Um, and so after I've gone over all of that, these different categories here, the first two being with and without DLC learning the game, and then we're assuming you've gotten all of the characters here, the grappling, the combo, the punish and setup. The only other category I could think to go into would be long range. Um, And the only reason you'd want to look at long range, which is why I didn't really want to cover it too much, is just how to fight against it. And you'll learn that along the way playing these other categories. I play some long range characters because the characters themselves I enjoy, um, like Dark Samus and Samus. Um, uh, I guess like you could argue. No, not really. They don't. Um, Robin, because Robin's a mage. If I'm a character, uh, I'll go into this in a second. But yeah, Hero and other stuff. But really, there's not as many as people would think. You could probably argue a little bit with, but they only have one projectile. I would argue like Samus, uh, Link, but I put him in a different category because, again, I think the other category covered like setup, heavy, punish, all that is more important. I didn't want to put Samus in there really because Pac-Man, Steve, Link, Snake, Banjo-Kazooie, those are all, they have more important things to learn about. And then finally, I'm going to go over to what are kind of like top tier, high tier kind of characters. Um, Again, just by learning all of this, you'll eventually get into and a little bit of why they're um, kind of important. So one, I put on the list. This is not in particular order of how they are in the list, if in regards to competitive or top tier, any of that. But they're just important as to why I'm mentioning them. Ice climbers. If you ever get into tournament at all or play competitively against anyone who knows what they're doing, ice climbers in this game can chain grab because they can cancel um, certain actions and things with their CPU helper there, the pink one known as Nana. And, you know, and learning certain things with characters you do learn with, like, I would say, even with, like, Terry, Ryu, Pac-Man, Steve, even Link, maybe, Snake. Um, Technically, if you want to go the extra mile, learn how to beforehand, you could. I could make a Luigi too, kind of teach you some grapple combo kind of stuff. I could throw in like to prepare if you really want to be ice climbers. You could learn stuff with like the idea of Rosalina and Luma, because she has a partner too. Um, but again, it's different. It's one of the more advanced characters in the game when we're talking ice climbers, where they have a lot of tech. And the best thing I can suggest would be to look up character-specific videos in regards to ice climbers, because they have potential to be some of the best characters in the game, but there's a lot more in depth going into it, and I can't fully cover it in this video. The next character I went over that probably has potential to be top tier, but right now is like borderline top tier, high tier, is Sephiroth. Because once you learn your basics and cover everything and just have everything down in general, if you feel you enjoy being more of like a hard punish, passive kind of character, kind of like let's see here, I guess kind of like Snake, or let me look at another character here. My list here, Lucina, um, maybe Lucario and Terry. If you like something like that, and I say Terry just because of what Sephiroth has, you might enjoy being Sephiroth because he can do a combination of these kinds of things with hard bait punish kind of things. He's not meant to be an extremely offensive character. He could be, depending on if your opponent's not really doing the right thing, but he's not meant to be. Um, this next one here, which there's a reason I didn't put them as I'll go over that in a second. The next character I have here is Hiro. Which people probably do want to start out playing them right away and stuff, and that's fine. Just make sure you play these other characters to practice with. Is my whole point of this video. Hiro is he's one of those characters that's really interesting because he technically has no bad matchups. There's certainly some matchups that are even, but they're not negative against him. Like, they're not against him. So because he has everything necessary in his toolkit to help him, and that's really interesting to think about it. You know, when you think about it, to consider going against another character, no matter who you're playing against. The only reason you may lose or could consider yourself being lost or something is if you really don't have experience against the player, their tactics, or something. So that's something to really look at. Pokemon Trainer is the next one I'm going to cover. But I just want to touch one more thing with Hiro. Everything you practice and learn in this game, matchups, everything, will only help with your matchup with Hiro, because you'll understand that Hiro has what he needs to help to deal with all of it. So it's kind of crazy to think about. Hiro has everything he needs to deal with any characters in the game and any characters that could possibly come out in the game. That's really crazy to think about. Pokemon Trainer, also surprisingly one of those characters like Hiro, but at the same time, you should practice with other characters too, like the basic characters talked about, and eventually keep on going. There's a lot of characters, so it's going to take a while, but the point is, because you could switch off the start menu too, you just choose which one you start with. Right, you have Squirtle, Ivysaur, Charizard. You obviously can switch between, what Pokemon Trainer. I like the green one, the Luck, But yeah. And then you choose whatever. Right, then, yeah, this one, this is usually pretty good option a lot of top players choose, because you have the option between something that's fast combo, deal quick bits of burst damage, or has a water kind of shooting effect, something that has range and could really knock your opponent off balance, and something just really big and heavy and powerful. So just something to consider. Then talk about Steve. Again, just some of the characters I've listed are just also in general really good characters, and with enough practice and everything will just work out in the long run for you. Steve is one of those characters, similar to Pokemon Trainer. Pyra and Mithra is there. People probably want me to say Shulk too, but I feel at this point, comparing Shulk to Pyra and Mithra, I feel, in my opinion, Pyra and Mithra are probably a little better to go for, and you'll have an easier time with. Or if you feel you really like being Shulk and Pyra and Mithra, just go for it. They would both probably be a great first and secondary for you. Because then you've got speed, power, and a balanced character, in my opinion, with range. And sure, he doesn't have a projectile, but Mithra and Pyra kind of do somewhat have ranged moves. So again, if your opponent goes up against you at a high level competition, and you know what you're doing, and they see you play these characters, they're going to be sweating, and they should be. Technically, these are both high and top tier. I just listed certain examples of what I think would be good to learn. And then, of course, like I said, there's not just Steve, Snake. Really kind of interesting costumes here. Snake, you'd start out, obviously very basic, and then working your way with them, you get to super advanced tactics and everything. Banjo-Kazooie is also one. You have to really work with some of these characters, see what they could do, how to punish, best you can with recoveries, all of that. He has a recovery move similar to Snake's, where he can, hurt himself to recover again and again and again and again. I think that's important. Let's see here, another character you could work your way up to possibly using, and I was choosing here between, besides just like Pac-Man and all these others, I decided to pick a popular one people like to sometimes choose now as Mr. Game & Watch. And to fully 100% understand how to work Mr. Game & Watch, again, it's under that category with like Pac-Man, Steve, Link, Snake, Banjo-Kazooie, and a combination of, I kind of want to argue like Terry, well not Terry, I guess it's Ryu, Greninja maybe, because he has some combo stuff, I guess, but he also has things like insta-kill moves, I guess, too. So he's very a scary character, but again, to, kind of to practice them a little bit, but you also have to understand basic concepts. Joker, of course, put on here, because he is basically a better Sheik with a limit break and a counter. It's the basic way I'm going to describe him. There's a lot more, but they basically had him into the game because Sheik's just, and this is why, again, I don't suggest Sheik because you have Joker. But if you kind of want to get an early feel for Joker for a little bit without having Joker yet, you could play Sheik, I guess. But again, that's why I didn't mention Sheik, because I'm assuming eventually everyone's going to get the DLC. And Joker's just, he's really cool, he's really good and everything, just, and Sheik again right now is 11.0.1 for the patch. She needs more buffs, or buffs in general. I think they actually, did they nerf her once? I don't remember. I think they actually, I know they buffed her a couple times, but she in general needs buffs in the correct places. And then of course Wolf people, he's been nerfed a bit actually, but he's still just very strong. But in my opinion, I think if you're going to go competitive, I think Falco's the best of the three, because he's just the safest and most consistent of the characters. I do have to argue Wolf is very good for two-framing, but Falco is very good for just securing and safely just getting your opponent off stage and taking them to the, I guess it'd be okay to say KO zone. Because Wolf, I would argue you can have Wolf as a secondary if you really want to be Falco, because Wolf, there are some characters you do the two-frame with, and you can't really 100% do that with Falco. So if certain matchups, maybe, they help cover each other's matchups. I would definitely say you could still almost solo main Falco, because Falco's down smash has iframes on his legs, like Fox, so I don't see why you would need to have Wolf as a secondary. And when I talk iframes and stuff like that, don't worry about it. When you just start, you'll figure this stuff out. You'll see. You can go to Trendy Bone. You can see what people are talking about, especially if you ask. We will tell you. People will tell you. And the last one mentioning after Wolf, of course, because this is kind of an advanced kind of character like Sephiroth is Cloud. Just the main thing between Cloud and Sephiroth that's a huge difference is Cloud plays in a way where he's the aggressor, and Sephiroth is kind of like the antagonistic come at me bro kind of character, where he's a villain. He's the ultimate edgelord, and Cloud is the I'm sick of you, I need you to get out of here. They literally portray that very well in this game, and if you ever play Final Fantasy VII or the remake, you kind of see that. They do a good job. I still want the rest of the game to come out. I'm waiting for that. But yeah, you see they have the Advent Children costumes and the 7 costumes, which are the updated graphics. Well, or for what they thought they were gonna be, or told they were gonna be by, I'm assuming, Sony. But yeah, it's very cool. Sephiroth I'll show. This is the final boss, kind of like, you know, when you fight Sephiroth. And then, you know, Advent Children, different kind of colorations here. Iron Pithra. Hiro and Mithra. Steve, Alex. They have a zombie Enderman. That's cool. You. That's cool. They should be saying it there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot here. And the different kind of heroes from the games, or from 4 different games. But yeah, they're cool. Banjo-Kazooie, different ones depending on which world the different kind of encounters will meet with the different main characters interact with there. Terry, Byleth, female and male, different, and men in different colors. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Different Kens. I think they have a Evil Ken reference, is what some of this is. An Evil Ryu, maybe. Yeah. Duck Hunt. Yeah. Pac-Man with oven mitts. It's kind of funny. Oh, yeah, and Sonic, of course. Already showed Snake a little bit, I think, but just... yeah, just kind of showing that off. The only disappointment I have with Bowser, they don't have the red Bowser costume. That would be cool. They just have this pink, whatever, but I missed the red one with the yellow hair. That was kind of cool for Melee. The only costume I'm not familiar with is this one for Samus. I wonder if that's supposed to be preview for the next game. I know these ones. I don't know this one. I know all the references for this. Alright, let's go on to the game mode information we want to talk about. Alright, so when you first come in the game, this is the overall menu. You can do it just going this or here. Either way is fine. If you want to go in here, I just show an example with this one. You can make it easier with Special Smash. But you see here, just show up in the menu, set the rules, pick your stage, and pick your character. Alright. Pick a character, and that's fine. I'm going to show the, I think is easier way now, because I think they patched out the kind of glitches, things like where you reset your system, or your game, I mean, you just keep doing that, and it, you don't have to wait so long, but I think you can just, I think custom smash should be good. I was just having fun. But yeah, I see this is kind of why, because you can make it, should I do light with that? That'd be kind of funny. Oh, you make it slow-mo. Mario here. Oh, Kirby. Ooh. Nope. Nope. Get out of here. Get out of here. No. Don't be throwing your eggs at me. Get him. Get him. Ah. You got that combo. All right. Let's go this one. Inkling. Uh-oh. No. Aha. Get out of here. Get him, Rachel. Get him. Get him. Let's go with that one. There we go. Oh no. No! We died at the same time! Ha! Whew. Alright, let's do it's just for fun with the goof troop. Oh no. Just because I might be able to kill because I made myself lighter. No way. Oh my god. Can't believe it. Okay, so there's that game mode. Oh my god, and then I had to break the targets. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't. Yeah. And those level 9s, you don't obviously have to play with level 9s. You could just do level 1s just to throw that in there. I guess I should visually show that too. So we go ahead and so again, you don't have to do this if you're first starting out. You could, but you can obviously just have fun with it. You can turn off items, you know, whatever you feel like doing to make it fun. I did stage morph. I'll go over the rules in a second here, but I just want to show you like, yeah, you could just set this to like a level 1 if you want, because I understand you're first starting out. In fact, what you could do. Just go back here. You could just go, yeah, I just want to do regular. You see it says edit, or you could just create a rule set. Let me just show you the. Okay, yeah, because I do a lot of testing and stuff. Let's do this. Fun. You could do a limit. Limit usually doesn't matter as far as time. Just final smash meter on, because just to have fun. You could turn that off if you want, so you won't have that meter on the bottom there. Spirits aren't necessary, but you can turn it by default when the CPU screen pops up all the way to level 1, which I think it's hilarious. It shows us a Jigglypuff, poor Hungry Box. It's Sephiroth's level 8. What the? You say it could be a level 1. You put a damage handicap on if you want. Stage selection. You can make it to loser's pick. Whoever loses gets to pick. Everyone takes turns. Anyone can choose. Random. You can have it be in order. So it goes like whatever the stages are from top to bottom. Anyone's usually good because then you could just choose whatever. I just have these items on just to, whatever on high. But you could just set it none. If you want all items off, you just do this. Set none. Just click that. But just because this one's just, yeah, I chose to do that. And then you could actually literally pick what stages you want. Clicking it, it'll say on, off. Advanced, first one win, or you can do 2 wins. So best 2 of 3, or you could do 3, I think it looks like it goes up to 5. But yeah, you could do that. Stage morph random every minute 30. You could literally set it to every minute. Set it every minute. Stage hazards on. Yeah, that's fine. Put it on for this. This would be kind of like Rage. You see, it shows a picture like they get some kind of like power up or something if they're down. Whether I'm not sure if it's damage or stocks or what. No, that's what it's letting you know there. If you're losing, you'll receive a power boost. If you're losing, you'll receive no assistance. It's kind of letting you know that's kind of what that is. I haven't done that yet, but launch rate normal. If you increase this at all, it means you're just going to be a lot more knockback. It goes up to 2 times, otherwise you do less. Pausing on, score display. That doesn't matter. It's usually off by default, but you could turn it on so people can see who's ahead or whatever. Pausing, that's fine to be on because it's. You could turn it off so no one can see their percentages of battle, make it more interesting. You just save it. Oh, there we go. That should be fine. And then you just pick your stages. You have the option to pick random forms of stages in their final destination form or their battlefield form, or just random altogether. You see, just default level 1 CPUs. If you really want to go crazy, you could do this. Or I think even more crazy, you could technically do 8-player, I thought. Maybe not in Special Smash, but if you want to do 8-player, I think what you have to do is, oh, I swear you could. You have to go here if you want to do 8-player, I thought. Sure. Yeah, you have to do it. You have to do this if you want to do 8-player. Go regular Smash. Yeah, so that's what you'd have to do for 8-player. Let's go over real quick the other game modes you could possibly do to just unlock characters besides just the multiplayer here. What you have, Squad Strike Tourney, Classic is one. You just kind of um, how this works is basically after you complete one of the playthroughs of this and beat it, you get a chance to fight a character or challenge a character. And once you beat that character, you unlock that character. And I don't remember exactly who unlocks what. You could always look that up. But basically, after you fight and beat Mario's playthrough, you get a chance to fight and unlock anyone from, because I can't remember who, Luigi all the way down to Instead War, basically. Because the DLC characters, if you don't have them yet to purchase, would be like Piranha Plant, Joker, Hiro, Banjo-Kazooie, Terry, Byleth, Min, Steve, Sephiroth, Pyro, Mithra. And that's if you don't have like passes and stuff. There's other ways to get discounts and stuff with like the passes and things. So that's one way. Besides the multiplayer, the other way is adventure here, where you go through the single player, and I cleared it, and you just play it. And you can even play through continuously if you want to, even though you cleared it, and just have fun. You can play multiple times, multiple people can get on. You can play it co-op. And as you're going through, you can unlock characters, all that. It's fun. And then you also, when you get the characters, like you purchase the DLC, you have opportunities to unlock certain like spirits and stuff, which are power-ups. And as you see here, there's 2 more coming soon, because there's still 2 more coming out that haven't been announced either. So, and this is just a shop where you can buy like spirits, support items for spirits and things, or your characters in general, towards getting spirits, or just custom games and other stuff too. And then here is where you would be able to utilize your amiibo and customize some other things, create and customize your B fighter, build stages, home run contest. This area, this is training mode. This area is for where you do. This is what they call Century Smash. You fight 100 enemies and beat them as fast as you can. This is All Star. This is basically you pick your one character you want to be and you fight against all the other characters of the game, and you try and just get a challenge or something. I could show you what that means by that. Oh, I was gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. This is Cruel Smash. This one's notorious for being about impossible to beat. They're not just level 9s, but they're powered up and things, to the point where they can like kill you in like just 2 or 3 hits, an individual one. So them working together and attacking all at once is really hard to deal with. Vault is where you would see like replays, tips for the game, like the Smash team everyone puts in there just to help out. This is again the shop where I sell the spirit items. Movies, what's in here again? Oh, okay, yeah, so this is like how to play, tutorial, other stuff like that, very basic. Oh yeah, this is where you can set up your sounds, like, I think you actually have the option to make a playlist in here, I think. Right, yep. That's where I think you could do it. Yeah, change the settings for stage, playlist, okay. And then I'm gonna go over the challenges real quick. And this is kind of something, if you want to do, I've had the game since when it first came out. Had time to do this. I just haven't wanted to follow around without being killed. Yeah, I did that, and it just doesn't count it. I don't know, maybe it's just something. Did that too. I don't know, sometimes there was like glitches stuff and it didn't count. I just was busy doing other things. Spirit board. I don't really touch spirit board as often as I should. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I don't really look at these too much, and sometimes you just get them. And this is also spirits. What would I have to do for these? Oh, okay, yeah. This is just from even just doing part of just the single player story mode kind of thing too. In classic mode, this stuff I kind of work on a little bit. Defeat Dracula. Okay. Yeah, I did do that. Just did it with Zelda. Oh, just saying like it's possible to do it with Zelda. That'd be, back then, that'd be kind of hard. Oh, as Mega Man. You see, I got a song for that. Some of the stuff's kind of worth because you get like gear and things. That's why I'm wondering if I don't have certain gear and stuff because that's how I got the claptrap. Great. I'm actually wondering if that's I did like beat these to get like certain gear I'm missing, like me outfits. Haven't done that yet because it's just been really lazy. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I did all the online, and you see, there's some things like this that realistically shouldn't be that hard. Like that should be a very basic one because just saying you have to just KO 3 opponents. Basically, that means you have to win a battle. Basically, because a lot of people do a 3 stock match. And so use at least 10 different fighters in quick play. Well, most people will use different characters. Complete 200. Okay, that's possible. A lot of people could do that. Yeah, that's just completing. It's saying like don't just rage quit. This is 1 10 games basically, 1 5 games. Okay, let's just say win 10 games, so it gives people who by their ranking system better than you. Okay, this is just saying use at least 3 different characters. Okay, that's 5 times. It's okay. So that's arena battles would be like playing with friends and stuff. 100 KOs. What isn't that like? Wouldn't that be okay? Okay, that's just saying just beat 50 different people. That could be kind of hard, I guess, for some people. Complete 100 quick play battles, and that's just again you get things like this when you don't just quit out, rage quit the game. It's what the term they use. But it may not even be about rage quitting. Just don't quit out. And that's kind of cool. They give you that for just having music. This is the other category. Snake one. Lock fighters. And just for creating a playlist, you get. Yep. What's this? Purchase. Right, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was just an accident. I didn't even know what I was doing. that that is funny. I didn't even. It's just having a. Talking about gold, and that was just because I play, and that was actually. I think I acquired that because I was just trying to get a classic ticket actually. It's just multiplayer. Some of the stuff can be pretty crazy and hard. And this can actually um, be done. And I did this without using like metal or anything or items. I did this with Ridley. Oh my god, when I reached like almost 300%, I didn't think that was even possible, especially before like the changes and things. Yeah, like this one's hard. Like P level 9 CPU by at least 2 points in a 2 player stock or stamina battles was done with spirits off and without handicaps. So this one you could use items or something, but still it's kind of hard because it says um, in a 2 player stock or stamina. So just saying like you can't have more than 2 people, or Yeah, so that one kind of crazy. Like, especially when you're, like, starting out just doing this stuff. Fetch a squash trick, which that's one of the easier ones. Kill 3 people within 10 seconds to start, get a sudden death, which, with certain DLC and stuff out now, that can... It's not that bad as it's an ordeal for a certain word to issue opponent with a single attack. Okay, that one's not too bad. Yoko Bonats. Okay, it's just saying use the final special assignment. Cool. Yeah, that one... Okay, that one should be pretty easy. Wait. Really? All you have to do is damage an opponent 5 times with their fishing rod? That should be an easy one people could do. Finish a 32 with a human player as the winner. That's just playing the tourney mode. Get 3 kills from the first minute of the battle. That one's debatable. I guess you could do like... You could just do like 8-player or something, or 4-player and just go ham, I guess. Beat level 5 CPU by at least 3 points in 2-player. Okay, so yeah, so it's not too bad. Okay, that's just playing Special Smash is what it's talking about. Beat level CPU with at least 3 points in a 2-player battle. This must be done within 3 minutes birds off without handicaps. But you could use items and stuff still. Make yourself basically invincible. But you could also use Special Smash too, now that I think about it. I don't know. I don't remember what I did. I just do know I did it. And I did it with Ridley, I think. This cloud hitting the opponent with a side special slash with... That's not... Okay. This one I remember being a little hard a little bit at first, then when I figured it out, I was like, oh. And you don't have to use specific characters. It was just funny because you're like at sudden death %, and the CPU's at 0. I just remember being funny. But this actually is kind of a good practice regimen. If you train at different CPU levels and stuff for survival, and not playing as Lucario or something like that, because you're trying to play well down from the start, so that's kind of cool to think about. Yeah, and this is, again, the one for practicing Ridley's, but again, you could do it. It's just, you know, try and do it against someone who knows what they're doing. You coming from a Ridley main, just saying. Okay, plenty of Ice Player Smash. Saying just insta-kill someone, that's cool. That one kills me. That one's actually kind of a cool thing. Yeah, that was kind of fun with, you know, with Ryu or Ken, you could do something like that. That was cool. Stuff like that, that's fun. Yeah, there's just certain things. All right. Yeah, it's kind of what I wanted to go over there. Anything else? If no one's wondering, like, again, what tips is, it's just they go over like information, like spirit stages, fighters specifically, moves and other things, hints, techniques, stuff beyond the tutorial, more in-depth stuff to help. And again, the last bit of advice I can give here for helping, especially when you're looking at characters practicing, even if you're only going to spend like 15-20 minutes, on whoever you decide you're gonna have as your main character, I would suggest um, going into training mode. And let's say you decide, I'm just do real quick. You know, you're like, oh, I want to be. Just real quick, let's just do like, oh, you know what? I do want to be a Sonic. Just even though I know some people are like, you know, I hate Sonic right now because he's campy and stuff. But if you're like you're a huge Sonic fan, you love Sonic, that kind of stuff. I'm a Sonic fan too. I get it. Oh, look, there's Cloud. Funny enough. What you normally want to do, just go over settings real quick. This, to go over what a trajectory guide is. No fixed damage. You can adjust CPU damage, how many CPUs. See, there's 2, 3. You could set them to, you know, if you wanted to jump, run away from you, just walk. Act as a CPU level 3, like a computer. Just throw out neutral specials, which would just be Cloud's Blade Beam. And or just throw out smash attacks, basically his side smash. Or if you want to control him with another controller, so you can do certain specific actions, or just stop, like stand there. But the other things I would suggest too is this, so you can see if there's any frames that show super armor or invincibility frames, what they're called. And the last thing is, if you're gonna really try combos and stuff, remember, put on CPU shuffling a lot. Not just a little, a lot, because it's going to show you how a person may react if they really try and smash the eye, or wiggle basically their control a lot, like the sticks and mash buttons and stuff, to get out of moves. And then also turn on stale moves, because it's going to give you an idea of realistically how combos work, depending if you're looking at combos or if you're just looking at certain things. And you can also just, like, it shows you the controls, how you could reset, like you see LRA. I just put you back to default position. But for instance, this, boom, see, forward smash, down smash. Nothing special, too much, at least with that last move. And you, of course, if you really want to look at something, you can slow it down frame by frame. Hold it, just have good normal speed. You can just tap it, go frame. And you see right there, all that darker blue, what that was. Just kind of explain that. Those were iframes. And just so you understand what that was, I'm going to just put it 1/4 speed. Iframes are the equivalent of when you dodge, right? When there's certain frames there when you dodge, where you can't truly be interacted with, but you can interact in some way, shape, or form. And what I mean by that is, just to give this information real quick, if your opponent was to like jump straight at you, attack or something, you could, at that move, that portion right there where you jump and scoop them up and go right into the part where you start spinning, right there, the beginning part where you start spinning right here, you would actually be really safe. And it has I don't really think it's a little bit of a win box, but what it does, I thought it did at one point, is you're kind of pulling your opponent in with like a grounded hitbox, even from where his feet are. It's interesting. But that's one of Sonic's safer moves, beside his side B, where you can charge just a little bit and have iframes there until he lands. And actually does another action after he lands. Excuse me. And the main thing you'll learn playing Sonic is this right here is down B where you charge. It's really good for combos. I just messed up the timing there. You have to make sure you actually lift him off the ground. Let me speed up a little bit. Again, I didn't lift him off the ground, and it's not really useful at low percents. So again, people would do this kind of one at low percents to get that knockback, which that is his side special, his side B. if you want to look at a button kind of input if you're using a Pro or GameCube controller, if you have just default controls. And you see throws normally have some variation of intangible super armor. See, so that's why it looks green with blue, which is the best way I can explain it. So you can't actually interact in any way possible with the grab. When an opponent does something like this against you, or you do something like that against your opponent. So again, you're just going to have to, in training mode, look at these kind of options and see what works best. And that's the last thing there I kind of wanted to cover if you're looking at training mode, as far as looking at basics. And as far as how I got a 42% combo, I mean a 42 hit combo, I don't even remember how I did that. I just remember I just was looking at all these different things with Sonic, and then I exited one day and I was like, what did I even do? Like, this too, like, how? I don't... And it's really, like, there's certain things I'm looking at here, I'm like, what did I do? And this is anyone who might just be interested in looking what I'm looking at here, like... You could tell kind of, like, a lot more what characters I practice with, because you see certain combo counters and things, and, like... Some of it makes sense, I guess, but you're also kind of like... I'm kind of almost laughing at myself, because I'm like, look at some characters, you know, and they're like, what did you do? Yeah, and that brings my last point here. When you're picking your main and your secondary, or whoever it is you're going to spend the majority of your time playing with, make it someone you truly are going to enjoy. Because you still want to have fun with what you're doing. You don't want to make it something you're going to be stressed over and not like, yeah, like why? And I swear I've played. I can't question this anymore. I'm going to lose it. But I'm sure that's something people have never seen, like a Joker. I'm training with combo 5 and a... Why? Like, that even being close to... Yeah, it's not... Yeah, there's stuff like this. If people saw this, they'd be like, why are your combo counters so messed? Why does Sonic have the most of a... And I'm just going to say this right now, just to make people laugh. It's because Sonic is the best combo character. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually, I don't know what I did. It's actually, because, I don't know. I guess it's because I'm a real Sonic fan, I guess. And, yeah. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. And, if you have any further questions or anything, I can answer. I can always do a part 2. All right. Thank you for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe.